Sami Halabi is Director of Policy at the Alternative Policy Institute based in Beirut. He joins us today from Rome. Now, you have previously criticized Lebanon's leaders for, quote, driving the country into the void. Years of economic malaise have left the country poorly equipped to handle emergencies like this one. How is Lebanon coping with this crisis?
Thank you for having me. Yes, as you mentioned, I'm no fan of the Lebanese government. I think I've spent the better part of my career criticizing them. But I have to acknowledge that in this instance, at least from a planning perspective, the government, the UN, and international agencies have developed a well-crafted humanitarian response plan. The plan is scenario-based, it's a multi-cluster response, and it has anticipated the worst-case scenario. We are in the worst-case scenario right now. At this moment, around 900 shelters are full, the hospitals are jammed, and there is no safe place to go. So basically what we're seeing is a repeat of what happened at the beginning of the conflict in Gaza, and the world is letting it happen again. This is happening because Israel continues to bomb densely populated civilian areas across the country. So let's be clear. No government in the world, not even Germany's government, would be able to cope with 20% of its population being moved and displaced from one week to another. That's the equivalent of Bavaria moving to Brandenburg. So I fear a lot of people asking, why isn't the Lebanese government doing more? I fear part of that is blame shifting, part of that is victim blaming. We didn't ask what is the Ukrainian government doing when Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, and we shouldn't be doing the same with the Lebanese government. We should be understanding that it's not Lebanon's fault that Israel's war machine is savagely tearing through entire neighborhoods.
But couldn't the Lebanese government deal with this better if they were better prepared for a situation like this?
Of course they could, but that is a hypothetical. Where we are right now is a product of the fact that Israel has been flouting all international conventions, and its warmongering prime minister is trying to stay in power. I think everybody knows that, especially the US, Germany, and Italy, who continue to supply arms to Israel with some of the best weapons in the world and turn around and claim they want a ceasefire. It's quite cynical. And so I think we need to reframe the way we posit these questions, the way we think about what's going on today in Lebanon. It is the far right-wing racist government in Tel Aviv that is ordering these mass assassinations. The onus is on countries sending weapons to Israel to stop providing diplomatic cover so we can change course, and then we can talk about a solution for Lebanon, because never again means never again, not again and again and again. So what we're seeing right now in Lebanon
but I would like to come back to my original question and talk about Lebanon. Who has the power in Lebanon right now?
Power in Lebanon is quite diffuse. I would say the military power rests almost squarely in the hands of Hezbollah. Diplomatic power is in the hands of the government, but Hezbollah is a part of that government. Hezbollah is part of the Lebanese body politique, is part of the Lebanese population. Bottom line, we're in the middle of a war, and those who are fighting that war will be the ones who are shaping the future of how Lebanon looks. Now, the Lebanese government has the power and is managing as best it can with humanitarian situation. They've launched flash funding appeals. They're negotiating behind the scenes. In fact, even yesterday, the foreign minister came out and said they had negotiated with the Americans and the French a 21-day ceasefire with Benjamin Netanyahu. The next day, Hassan Nasrallah was assassinated. So that's the kind of situation the Lebanese government is dealing with.
Now, more than a year ago, you called on the West to implement expansive, coordinated financial sanctions to rein in the Lebanese elite who are driving the country off the cliff, end quote. Did that plea fall on deaf ears?
Absolutely, yes, unfortunately. I think what we are witnessing now in Lebanon is the destruction of the state itself, and that has been brought about by the lack of the West's interest in actually tackling the root causes of the problem. The West is happy when the refugees don't come over to them, and they would like to keep them in Lebanon. So they're happy to send aid, but they're not happy to sanction the people who caused the financial crisis that brought us to our knees as a people. And now, while we're on our knees, Israel is coming to finish off the job. I think that's how many Lebanese people feel. I think that's how we see it right now. We see there are huge double standards, and right now the world understands who the aggressors are, who the war criminals are, and who's responsible for the war in Lebanon, the war in Gaza, and where we are today. I think that Israel and the people, the Jewish people of the world, have a right to be safe in Israel. They have a right to be safe in Lebanon. They have a right to be safe in Germany. And the moment that Israel stops, protracting its military power into the rest of the region and fighting with every single one of its neighbors, we will find a place where we can live in peace. But today, we have to stop the bloodshed by stopping the flow of arms to Israel's war machine. That is the primary objective, and it should be the primary objective amongst all who are interested in seeing peace in this region.
The opinion of Sami Halabi from the Alternative Policy Institute. Thank you.
Thank you.